What's up, guys? This is hopefully going to be a short video. I was going to do part 2 on the clock shavings book tonight as my video, but there's just so much, and I need to get a little bit more. I mostly do these videos on the fly, so I need to get like a little bit more organized about exactly what I want to talk about, because there's so much in this book. And, you know, I'm going to save that for a later date, long story short, and just do it in an orderly fashion and try to bring out like the most important things, in my opinion, about the book. But anyway, so really quick, I was watching a video the other night that my son turned me on to, this channel, and the way this guy presented pretty much all the same stuff that I talk about was so spot on, and he even used the same sort of like lingo, and it was about what are angels really. So I think that these beings are the archons, because we associate the word angel with something divine and good and all loving, knowing, and that's just, you have to really undo that, okay? If you're like me and you want out of this place and you know it was created by something not good from the gate, okay, then you'll keep an open mind here. I know that we were all, you know, going down the path of hopefulness about this place, and you know, the thing is, that's probably the first thing you need to let go and switch it up and keep it more like, not hopium, but hey, let's get the fuck out, and we're going to do what we have to do to get out of here, and get past these things that are going to probably try to prevent us from getting to where we need to go. I do believe that there's certain rules, if you will, even though it's nothing but manipulation from these things, there's certain rules I think that they have to follow when we get out of here. And so anyway, let's get back to angels. What are angels? Right? We were told everyone has a guardian angel. You know, they look like, oh, you know, these are these loving, amazing messengers of God, and you know, but if you really look hard, forget about what I'm saying, you will see that if you look hard into the Old Testament stories and stuff like that, that these beings are just beings of destruction. They're just enforcers of the realm. Okay? And I feel like any good that they do or did was only manipulation. Okay? So I think the angels are the archons, and including, you know, Michael, Gabriel, they're all enforcers of the realm. And if you know what the realm is, right? If you know this is a realm of duality, I won't call it a hell realm, but I mean, look at the suffering that goes on here. So first thing I want to say is this entire realm is one of suffering, and it was made for that. For whatever reason, when this demiurge thing started to create, somewhere along the line, you know, he created the 7 archons. Somewhere along the line, they realized that we coming into this realm, we're pure light. We are the sliver of God. We're coming into this realm. They don't have the same creative energy and the same divine love that we do. They don't have it. Possibly the demiurge has half of that, right? Because Sophia created him supposedly without our divine counterpart, whatever, but it is duality. That being is duality. This whole place is duality. But for me, I feel like it leans more into the dark. People just can't even get their breath like above water. Like it's just constant. You're working, you don't have time for your family because you're exhausted, all your energy. So they're also siphoning your energy constantly. So how can you even think about what this place is? And that's done on purpose. They are doing that on purpose. They're siphoning everything from you, your energy. They're keeping you running on the hamster wheel because they do not want you to question what this place is. Okay, back to angels. Angels are the enforcers of the realm. They're not good. Okay? I've talked about this before. The archons are the angels. All they did now was, the other thing, is they jumped on the alien bandwagon. To me, I feel like all these other planets, whatever beings, they're all part of this realm. They're all from this realm. It isn't what you think it is. They're interdimensionals. They're not aliens. They're all demonic. They're demonic. Okay? I don't care if people want to hear that anymore. That's what they are. They're demonic. The alien bandwagon is leading you down a bad road, just like all the other lies that we've been told about this place. You think you know the truth. You think you know everything about this place. This whole place is a shit show. This whole realm is not a place where beings of light, of God, of the real God, the unutterable God, where we really come from, belong. We do not belong here. Now, if you want to stay, go for it. Go for it. You want to stay in this realm? Hey, I wouldn't even, give somebody shit about that. Do it. But I did notice that just within the last year, how many people have woken up to what this place is. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I totally get the people who hung on to the lie. I get that because the truth sucks. Because this whole place is a loosh farm. These beings from day one are just siphoning our energy so that they can exist, because they can't exist without our energy. Okay, they need the energy to power the system up. I've said it a million times already. And so they need you. They will manipulate you. They will come in the form of guides. These are the probably lower level demons. I think that the archons have bigger and better things to do. Honestly, there's an order, right? There's an order of the principalities, like there's a whole, and there's nothing divine about it in the sense that you think of as divine. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing angelic. Think about that word. You think about the word angel, immediately people have angels, figurines, and I have a trash can with angels all over it. Like it's literally, they're pushing it in our faces, and it's a lie. It's a friggin' lie. The angels, the real angels in the hypercosmoi with the unutterable God, you wouldn't even recognize their names. You wouldn't even, unless you study Gnosticism on a deep level, you would not even know their names. Because none of those names are names that are ever mentioned here. Okay? And I'm telling you, there's no way that these beings have your best interest at heart. You look at the Bible, look at the things that happened in the Old Testament. What did they bring? Genocide, you know, fire, flood, you know. And I really also want to get into, which is why I didn't do the video about clock shavings, about Cain and what he was. Because she reveals a lot in this book, and I think she was definitely on the right track. Because that being was, well, first of all, he was created by the demiurge. It was the child of the demiurge. By the rape of Eve. Cain and Abel both were from the demiurge. They were not from Adam. And supposedly Lilith also fathered demonic children with Adam, besides, you know, and a lot of people will say that, like, Lilith was good and all, and I just don't think so. You know, I know that there are people, even in, let's just say, the soul trap community, that think that there's a lot of lies about Lilith. But what I tend to go with is, if you hear the same thing over and over again, it's probably true. There's probably truth in it somewhere. Although I know that's how they brainwash us, by hitting us with the same thing over and over again. But you can see lies from truth if you get to, you can sharpen your discernment skills. It's kind of like a flowering. You'll just open up to this information. You'll just start to see all of, and well, I know that there's people still stuck on everyday politics, the world, this, and of course you have to live in this world. I totally get that. But it is so much bigger than that. Like, it is so much bigger than that. You can't see what is all around you, and these things are everywhere. You just can't see them. Some people can. And they're just, like I said, they're constantly trying to tear us down, manipulate us, and bring us into a low state, into a state of despair. And they siphon the emotions, because for whatever reason, the negative ones are yummy to them. And it's just like I said, I've said this before, it's like being in a relationship with a narcissist. They will give you the good stuff, but they like the negative stuff better, don't they? Right? They like the tears. They like the negative emotion that they get from you. It's like a hit off a crack pipe. The other thing, real quick, that I wanted to get into is Enoch. Now, this is really interesting, because if you ever read Gary Wayne's work about the Nephilim, and he says that there were two Enochs, and a lot of people said, you know, that's what is, it's one is Seth's son, and one is Cain's son, right? And there was like, one was bad and one was good. If you look at their names, if you look at Cain's descendants and Seth's descendants, and you line them up, the names are almost identical. Okay? So, what's going on with Seth? That's the rabbit hole that I've been going down. Okay? But when Enoch, that everyone prayed, oh, the book of Enoch, oh, you know, he saw the fallen angels imprisoned in hell. He went to heaven with God, and he went to heaven with God, and he didn't have to reincarnate in another body and come back here. God made him an angel. Why? Because he was a descendant from a particular bloodline, probably the same bloodline that the God of this world, right? Because if Cain is the demiurge's son, and Enoch is a descendant of Cain, then he's really making his own, however many great grandchild, one of his angels. and that is Metatron. And there's people in the New Age that worship Metatron. And Metatron is, again, just like the other angels, just like the archons, not good. Okay, so Enoch is bullshit. So, like, again, I appreciate Gary Wayne's work. He connects all the bloodlines of the Nephilim, but there were two Enochs. One was good, one was bad. Really? Because was Enoch really good? He became an angel. Sorry, but no, they suck. Okay, they're not here for our good. This whole place, if you get it as a whole, is it's a hell realm. It's a hell realm. And it's a hell realm because horrific things happen here, and everyone just goes on and thinks that this place can be saved, and you know, whatever. And whoever thinks are gonna fly off in a spaceship with the good aliens, is that the good demons? That's what I'm thinking. Can demons be good? I don't know. It's so ridiculous. Open your freaking eyes, people. Come on. I even am starting to see friends of mine out of nowhere that were totally thought I was nuts, that are commenting that, like, yeah, it's really something to consider, because this thing is like been cracked wide open. And you barely ever heard of people talking about this. I mean, Wayne Bush, from how many years ago, he and the Overwatch channel, and Mark from Forever Conscious, you know, they were the only ones, and Mark was later than them talking about this stuff. People just didn't talk. There were not a lot of people talking. Now it just seems to be, like I said, cracked wide open. Because I do think there's some kind of like gnosis. It's open now. They don't want us to know this crap. They don't want us to know this. And, it's really getting interesting here. But, I will still get people that will comment or that will say, oh, I saw your video, I didn't want to comment because I believe angels are still good and stuff like that. And again, everyone at their own pace, or not, or never. But it is what it is. And, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm hoping to put a video up that I did with my friend Angie, and then we're probably going to do some videos together on both of our channels as well coming up. And I will definitely do the clock shavings book, because you guys are really going to love that. Because I don't want to just sit here and talk about, I know that rabbit holes can get, you know, they can divert you away from what the important stuff is. And, but I really like to keep this stuff interesting. And if you're like me, I think that knowing what these beings were is sort of an opening to understanding this place a little bit more. So, down the Cain rabbit hole. And other beings that I don't want to name, because this book is really crazy. And, you know, I said it before, it's horrible to think of that, you know, Tracy passed away, but I get, when you dabble with this stuff, that things can get crazy. And I believe that the time that she died was a time where people were waking up rapidly, but they weren't fully awake. And I think if something happened to her now, it would probably be a little bit different. They may not have done what they did to her. And I think it was both physical people in this realm and physical people working with the demonic. That is how she died. But when you open that door, you got to be really careful. So, also, and I just think that in 2019, they were offing a lot of people because they weren't as exposed as they are now. Now they're kind of really exposed. And I'm talking about the Israelites and I'm talking about the dragon bloodline, right? Again, people have to understand that there's a lot of us that have this blood in us as well, for sure. If you were in military programs, you have that blood in you. I can assure you that you do. But that does not mean that you can't get out of this place, and it does not mean you're evil, and it doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean any of those things. Because ultimately, you still come from a higher place than this. And I'm not talking about NPCs because they don't go to programs. And there's a reason that they don't. They want the good stuff. Because it's all about the bloodlines here. All right, this has gone like longer than I wanted it to. So take care, guys. Have a good night.